right, good morning, beekeeping folks. So we're here on Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, and we're working on our cloak board creamery process. And today I'm going to be putting the cloak board in place, in turn closing off the top hive from the bottom hive. So I figured I'd share the process with you guys as we go along. So here we go. First thing I'm doing is trying to get my smoker going, make sure that's fully ready to rip and tear, because they are not going to be happy. So like initially I had said, we had set up our double brood hive with the entrance turned 100 degrees, placed in the back, closed off, cloak board in place with the new entrance at the top. And now we're at the stage where we're going to put the cloak board in place, open up the rear, and then have the foragers coming in, packing that top box, and then they can exit out the rear, and so on and so forth. And we will render the top hive queenless through this process. All right, so here we go. Beautiful morning. It's already super muggy. Hello, good morning, ladies. How are we today? I hope you're a little more friendly today than you were the other day. All right, let's see what we got. Plenty of bees, that's for sure. You guys can see that I use this cloth material for my inner cover. It's like a bubble wrap slash insulation. It's used for that's exactly what it's used for, is insulation slash vapor barrier. It works very well. Silver on one side, white on the other. All right, here we go. So basically what I want to do is I'm not going to do too much monkeying around in the hive. The main goal is to insert the cloak, and then I want to just make sure that there's plenty of open brood in the top box to ensure those nurse bees are coming up through and are up in the top. Because once I put the cloak in place, the bottom hive and the top hive will now become separate. So it's imperative that you have your resources in place at this time. All right, so we got the cloak in place. We're gonna make sure that's pushed all the way in. And now we're gonna open up this rear entrance down here at the bottom, so the bees in the bottom hive now have their separate entrance, and the bees in the top have their separate entrance. They are not happy this morning to see me. Can't imagine why. I wouldn't want somebody knocking on my door, or in fact, breaking in the door of my house in the morning either, so I can understand why you ladies are not happy. It's all right. I mean well. Yeah, I know. I see you looking at me. I see you looking at me. Normally I don't wear gloves, but I've had to lately because these guys have been so angry. All right, as you can see here, we've got a frame of capped brood. And then over here, we've got some more capped brood. Young bees, lots of young bees hatching. So that one looks good. And we'll set this guy down in here. Safe, away from the mayhem. All right, let's see. Should have some honey out here. Oh yeah, plenty of honey. So they've got plenty of food. So you want to make sure that there's honey, bee bread, and like I said, larvae in the top box before you put the board in place. Because like I said, once you put the board in place, those bees from the bottom can no longer come up to the top. So it defeats the purpose. You've got to do this prior to putting the cloak board in place. You got to make sure that you have that young larva in there a couple days before to make sure you've got those bees up there. We've got some more nectar and room for them to build. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. Also, make sure when you guys are pulling your hives apart and digging in, you want to make sure that You've got no jerking, jarring. That really makes them angry. The gentler, calmer motions, slower, definitely keep them a little less angry. So here we got some bee bread. Not a ton, but there is some on that side. Oh, there's plenty over here. This side looks really good. So we definitely got enough resources on this side to help rear queens. All right, let's see what we got. Now, I made sure that there was open brood in here a couple days ago when I started this, so we should still have plenty of young bees in here. We're gonna give them a little more smoke because they're definitely getting pissy. I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with keeping these smokers lit. What a pain in the rear that can be. If you guys have any suggestions or ideas of how to help keep your smoker lit when you're not puffing it for a while, when you get those big periods of time in between, I definitely appreciate it. So if anybody's got any tips or tricks on keeping your smoker lit when you're not using it, put it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. All right, let's see what we got here. Come on, baby. It's all right, girls. I know. I'm messing up your whole house. You just cleaned the living room, you just picked up the kids' toys, and I'm coming in and just blowing it up. All right, so this one's got, like I wanted, some, let's see if I can get a little closer. This frame here's got plenty of young larvae in different stages that is ensuring that we have those nurse bees in the top box. So I don't need to go any further. I don't need to mess with these guys anymore. We're gonna put this back in place. Like I said, we put the cloak board in. Now basically what we're doing is we're separating the top box from the bottom box. And the queen is in the bottom box. She's been in there for the whole duration of this process. So now what we're doing is we're making the top hive separate from the bottom, in turn rendering them queenless. So it won't take long before they realize that their queen is gone. We'll come in either tonight, depending on how they are. You should give them at least 24 hours, but sometimes it doesn't take that long. So, but we're gonna give them some time to realize that they're queenless, and then we're gonna come in with our grafts, and we're gonna make sure that there's no eggs or other young larvae that they can rear from, and or ensure they haven't started to rear something on their own. All right, so we're gonna put this guy back together. We're gonna clean your living room back up, put the toys back where they were, and leave you girls alone for the day. It's a beautiful day. You guys can have a nice day to do some foraging and pack this top box full of resources. Like I said, once those foragers come out, now they're going to be forced to go into this top box, and they're going to jam pack that top box with bees and resources, both of which we need to ensure we've raised some quality queens. So as of right now, everything's going as planned. I know. I'm being a pain. I know. I got it. I hear ya. I'm trying. You guys are being more than hospitable. All right, also we made some pollen patties up this morning. Just a substitute recipe that I found online, nothing crazy, but we're gonna add that in there just to make sure these guys have got plenty of stuff, plenty of what they need to raise the queens we want. So there's that. Put a little cut in it so they can get at it. All right, we're gonna close this back up until later. I'll give you guys a quick show preview of what we got just to make sure you see what's going on. So like I said, this is the entrance. We started off with the queen excluder on the bottom, the shim, and then the three-sided rim that allowed the bees to come into the new entrance that was created here. They were still able to travel from top to bottom, but the queen was not able to, so she's been down here the whole time. Now we've inserted our
Cloake board, which is now separating these hives, making it 2 separate hives. And the only difference is the top one is now queenless versus the bottom one that is still queen right. So we'll come in 24 hours, put our graft in, make sure they draw those out, get those capped off and closed off, and then we will put the hive back in a queen right state so they can finish it off like we'd want. Hopefully this was helpful. Just to show you guys, plenty of girls, beautiful day. This hive has been doing absolutely great. I couldn't ask for anything better. We purchased these as nukes this spring. We bought 3. This is one of them, and we've expanded it into a double brood. Now we're going to rear some queens and hopefully expand our apiary and get ready to pack everybody full and prepare for winter. That's the goal. So I appreciate any feedback, any tips. Like I said, any tips on the smokers or any tips on how you guys are rearing your queens, put them in the comments below, and I'd be glad to hear them. Until next time, see you guys later.